Kate, Mason's kind of famous now. He's been doing all these interviews and podcasts. And one question he got asked was, how did you find him? And he didn't really know. So how did you end up in Northwest Ohio?
When it comes down to it, is the process that we do here. Making sure we cross every I, cross every T's and dot every I's, right? He was a kid that, I'm big on, I don't care about stars. I don't care about what offers you have, in the staff room. We don't talk about that at all as an offense staff. We watch everybody together to make sure that we're all on the same page and that we all see it the same. And we've been doing that since I was with my dad in Western Carolina. And I think for us, we didn't care that he had group of five, he didn't have big offers. And when it came down to it, we watched his film and we loved him. He fit what we wanted to do. And he was the type of guy that we were looking for, and we were happy to get him.
Do you know why maybe some other schools at this level didn't give him as serious a look as you guys do?
I think football's changed a lot, in recruiting. A lot of people are get offers really young, and it could be because of their size or camps or whatever. And I think the quarterback position, personally, sometimes people recruit guys too early. I love to wait until I watch junior film to see at least a lot of junior film, not just highlights, but game film, just to see how they process, see how they play, see how tough they are. And I think a lot of it had to do with he's just like a late bloomer. Going into his sophomore year, he was only 175, 180 pounds, 6'1.5", and then he kind of just grew. Now he's like 6'2", close to 6'2", 215 pounds, 210 pounds. So, a lot of it is being a late bloomer. A lot of it is him playing multiple sports. He wasn't going to all the camps. He wasn't doing all that stuff, promoting himself. And a lot of it had to do with where he played. Let's be honest. He played at a small school that, they weren't on the spotlight. They didn't play a lot of big games. And they weren't very good before he became the starter. They won the first, championship for the level, was his senior year. And before then, junior year they had a winning record, barely. And then before that, they weren't very good. So, he had to build that place, and I think that's what makes Mason special is that he's went through a lot, and he's went through adversity even in high school. He didn't play on the best team.
Hey, how did he get on your radar?
How did he get on my radar?
Yeah.
Just through process of coaches sending in players. Every year, different areas like area coaches they send in players for us to look at, and obviously it starts with the quarterbacks, right? Me and my assistant, we watch all the quarterbacks, and from every area that every coach recruits. And then once we watch the quarterbacks, we decide which ones that we want to bring to the office of staff. And then, once we bring them to the whole office of staff, we'll watch them as a whole staff and rate them all, the ones that I really like. And then once we do that, then they go to Coach Narduzzi. Does that make sense? Yeah. So for us, that's been our process. And for me, I just love doing it. A lot of people do it by position. I love to bring pizza up in the off season and come up here and watch film as a whole staff and watch every player, every position on the offense, because I want us all to have an opinion. I want us all to, we're all going to see football different, right? Like I might like a player that Coach JJ or Coach Darbo doesn't like, but we put a rating system together that rates them all, and the way we do it. And a lot of times, it's funny when people got different opinions, but when everybody's on the same page, when everybody sees the same thing we all see, a lot of times it's right,
Okay, we hear that even after wins, like he obsesses about the things he could have done better.
Yeah.
What's he been like to work with from that standpoint? And could you guys have pretty honest talks?
Yeah. The one thing about him is that he's a mature pro, man. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been around, played the game, and I wasn't as near as mature as he was at his age. Been around it my whole life with my dad. Seen a bunch of different quarterbacks on different teams. I've never been around a true freshman that prepares like an NFL 10-year vet. Like he really does. He prepares like he's playing over here for the Steelers, and he loves it, and he wants to get better and learn. And the one thing I love about him is that a lot of times he don't make the same mistake twice. Once he makes a mistake, he'll learn from it. And I think that's what makes fun coaching him, because he's never satisfied, right? Like even when he had the big game versus NC State, we're on the sideline. It's like third, fourth quarter. Going to fourth quarter, he's like, dude, man, I freaking, I could have 550 yards passing. It's like he's always trying to get better, and I love that too, because even when we're doing well or we put up numbers or points, like I'm pissed off in the fourth quarter when the backups are in, because I'm expecting us to score, and to get better. So he has that just competitive, want to get better mentality, and that's who I am too.
Does that mentality give you comfort, because obviously he's getting a lot of attention, there's gonna be a lot of eyes on him on Saturday, maybe going forward, he's gonna be able to handle it without sort of getting caught up in his own stuff?
Yeah, it gives me confidence because of the way he prepares. You know, like when he's in here and he knows everything going on, and he has, you know, opinion, right, of things he don't like and do like, you know, I respect that opinion because of the way he prepares, right? When you prepare the way he does and the way and how focused he is at practice, he practices every day like it's a game. You know, he don't go through the motions. You watch him drop back with his feet. You watch him go through individual. Everything is as fast as the day we're trying to, you know, last drive of the Super Bowl, right? Like he drops every play like it's a game. And so when the guy prepares like that and the guy puts the work in, it makes you feel really confident throwing the football, right? Because you know that he wants the ball in his hands and that he's ready to go.
How crazy is it to see a kid like that with that kind of mentality and maturity at such a young age?
Yeah, it doesn't happen much. It's special, you know. And I think that's what separates him then from a lot of young quarterbacks is obviously he's talented. You know, he's got the athletic ability. He's tough. He's got the quick release. He's got the arm. But the mental part of the game, the preparation, and just the will to want to be great, man. That's what's hard to find.
Kat said on Monday that, you know, Mason's got to be smart with football, but he's got to take risks for you guys to win this game. How do you coach him to balance that and when the risks are appropriate?
You know, when it comes down to it, you know, my job is to coach him on, you know, those things, right, and to get him to understand, you know, when things aren't perfect, right, whether it's up front, whether it's, hey, maybe it wasn't the right coverage that we were expecting, right, hey, do we make a play worse, or do we just, you know, move on, whether it's throwing the ball away, hey, running for 2 yards, checking the ball down, and saying, hey, let's just live to play the next play, right? And but you know, I don't want to ever overcoach what he has also, because you don't want to have him thinking, you don't want him scared to make a mistake, because that's one of his superpowers, is the confidence, is the aggressiveness, is the playmaking ability, right? So, you know, you want to coach it more through the football lens of it, right? On the iPad, like, hey, look, you got this coverage. This wasn't a great call, right? You got to bail me out sometimes, right? Like, that's football, right? Like, when we don't get the perfect look, hey, you got to check it down, or hey, let's just move on to the next play. We still got 2 or 3 downs, right? And the only way that he's going to get better at that is reps, right? Like, you know, me and my, you know, from what I've learned from my dad as an offense coordinator and as a quarterback, and me playing, and what we believe in is that, listen, when we're up a lot, man, like, it's not time to just mail it out and go home. I believe in the third, fourth quarter of those games, like, we got to get better. You know, like, why not, you know, let him put the ball in his hands, and because he needs experience, you know. I'd rather him make a mistake when we're up 28, right, than make one in a big game that could hurt us, right? And the only way he's going to learn from those is experience, and when, you know, like I said, when he is down there, you know, when to take care of the football and then when to take chances, and I believe in that, because that's the only way you're going to grow.
Given the circumstances of his recruitment,
Yeah.
did that allow for just a closer relationship between you guys when he walked in the door, or even now maybe coaching him up, giving him tough love, just the fact that you and Pitt were his only powerful offer?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, we were the first people that really believed in him, you know, and not just believed in him, but, you know, we brought him here on during spring ball, that first or second practice he came up, and it was awesome. You talking about a kid love football. I mean, we sat in there and we watched film of the offense and film of who we want to be, and kind of comparing us to other great offenses, or, you know, NFL teams, stuff that we do. And just watching him sit in there and answer questions and want to talk football. I mean, we were in there for like 5-6 hours just watching film and talking ball. And that's when I knew that he was the guy I wanted, you know. And obviously, you know, we took his commitment really early. I mean, for, you know, not a highly rated kid, right? A lot of people say wait and wait for some big. No, man, like, he was the guy we wanted. And that's why we took his commitment so early. As soon as he wanted to commit, we were like, heck yeah, we want you, you know, I want you. So that was a big part of it. And that's why also we just signed our guy in that class, right? Because I really knew he was going to be special.
Hey, what are you hoping to see out of your running backs and receivers in the Notre Dame game?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just, you know, matching the intensity that they play with. You know, Coach Freeman and them do a great job on defense, and that's who they are. They're a lot like us. They're a defensive program, right? And they're going to play hard, fast, and physical. That's what they believe in, and we have to match that. You know, and I think really in this little winning streak that we've had, I think the skill guys, we've played a lot harder. You know, like, not just running routes. I mean, obviously we're doing a great job running routes and catching the ball and getting open, but just doing the little things right? Like lining up fast, communicating, blocking on the perimeter. I think that's why we had a couple big runs for Stanford. We blocked really well on the perimeter at receiver, which helps spring those backs, right? Just doing those little things, because we have talent, we have guys that can win, but it's just playing hard, playing physical, and just, playing harder for longer than they do, and that's what we got to do for 4 quarters.
It seems like whenever teams play a freshman quarterback, they try to throw a bunch of different stuff at him. For you as a play caller, how's that chess match been, kind of just seeing different stuff each week?
Yeah, it's been great, and the great thing is he's seen a lot. We've played really 5 different teams. We've seen a lot of different coverages. We've seen everything from man to 7 across to zone to 2 high zone, 1 high zones. We've seen a lot of stuff, and he's getting a lot of experience with all the games that he's played. And for us, man, I think football's changed a lot to where, defensive coordinators now are more schematic, and what I mean by that is like you don't just line up in a formation and expect to get something like we used to when I played. It was like, hey, I line up in this formation, I know I'm getting too high. Football's now became where defense coordinators, just like the NFL, are attacking offenses and trying to confuse the quarterback, right? With different coverages and different stuff that you haven't seen on film prior to weeks. So for us, we believe in, we know we're going to get something that we haven't seen, right? And we got to be, we got to be prepared to make changes, right? Like I think that's where we've been good this year is we've been able to make adjustments pretty fast, not waiting till the second half or waiting. We'll be able to make protection adjustments and obviously what type of throws we want to run, quick game, drop back, play action, right? We've been able to do that fast, and he's been really good at handling that stuff, right? Understanding his protections when he's hot, right? Like he's getting rid of the ball quick when he is getting blitzed, and obviously then he can make plays when he has to.
How have you noticed the relationship between the skill players and Mason over these past few weeks that he's been the starting quarterback?
Yeah, I mean the relationship's great. Mason was the kid that even when he wasn't the starter, he would stay at the practice and throw, right? Like he was always trying to get better. So they've been throwing with him. The great thing he was here in spring. So they trust him and they see the work that he puts in and how serious every rep is for him at practice. Like he's one of those kids that's like he was pissed that he wasn't 90% yesterday in practice. He was like 89%. It's like well, hey, if you check the ball down right here, you'd be 90. So it's like. Just they just see how competitive he is, and I think that's they believe in him, and I think that's a big thing about it.
Since Mason's been starting and getting more and more national attention, as you guys keep winning, there's obviously been some talk about him getting coached by a larger program, even you getting coached by a larger program. How do you guys kind of manage that and not let it become a distraction?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, this is all we're cared about is this year, right? We have a chance to do something special here these next 3 days. Let's be real. We're in a great situation. Things happen for a reason, and we're here together, and this team's together, and the way we started to where we are now, this place can do something special, and we're excited for the rest of the season. And when it comes down to it, we want to win, and when it comes down to it, I think we can win a championship here, and we have a chance to do that this year. And why not make the college football playoffs, right? Like that's got to be the mentality, right? Because we have an opportunity to do that these next 3 games, and I know our kids are excited for that. We've had this bye week, and they see the opportunity that we have, and we talked about this last year of getting into this situation where we were last year because we were 7-2 last year, right? But hey, we got to finish this year, and I know that's a big thing for us, and we're going to do that this year.
Kate, I know you're focused on the game itself, but is there a little bit of excitement knowing the national spotlight on this game with game day and ACC coming?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, growing up, just being a college football fan and loving the game, that's special. It's been a while since it's been here, right? That's what it's going to make this game fun. And I know we're excited for it. It's a normal football game, right? I mean, that doesn't change the fact that hey, we go to work every day. We're here to be the best every day, and we're going to go out there and try to win. And hey, we're going to be attacking. That's who we are. We're going to go be who we are, and try to put on a show because and that's what it's about. And have fun doing it. So that's a mentality.
Taking into account that Dez's health has fluctuated over the last several weeks, month plus, just what is your assessment of the run game just leading into this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think every week we've gotten better and better. We had one of the highest rushing outputs versus Stanford compared to the games that they had earlier. Versus some of the teams that they played. And so just seeing where we're going, I think Boozy obviously went to another level. He missed. You can kind of start seeing how comfortable he is running the ball, seeing his holes, reading his keys, and trusting no line, right? And I think that's because he just missed all of fall camp, And then obviously getting Dez back, having that 1-2 punch is huge for us. And when it comes down to it, we want to be balanced, right? We've got to be able to throw it, to win, but we also got to be able to run it when we have to, right? And dominate the line of scrimmage. And stay balanced, because when we're balanced, we can do anything we want to do on first and second down and stay good in down distance. it's hard to play football as an offense if you're in a lot of second, third loans, right? And we've showed that this year when we've stayed in good down distance, able to run the ball and throw the ball and stay balanced, that we've been a really good offense. So we just got to keep doing that and then finish drives.
Good.